Johnny. Johnny's next on PTL. What's up, Johnny?
Hi, is this Brian and Leonard?
Hi, Johnny.
Yes.
Hi. Brian, I've been listening to your show for a few weeks, and you seem like you're about consistency, but I got to call you out on a few things.
Okay.
Okay, so I've heard you many, many times say things like, that's whataboutisms. That's whataboutisms. We don't play whataboutisms. Is that correct?
It depends on the circumstance.
Yeah, when a MAGA is
question.
trying to deflect, yes,
Yeah.
we call it whataboutism.
Yep.
Definitely.
Sure.
Okay, well, earlier in your little monologue, you were talking about Kash Patel, and you said he was asked that question, about telling Pam Bondi. You were like, if he would have not, he would have said no right away, but he tried to deflect it, so we know what that means. That's a whataboutism.
No, it wasn't a deflection.
Hold on. Let me help my MAGA friend. Let me help my MAGA friend real quickly. Please take the MAGA wax out of your ears and be quiet. I'm going to answer your question. We were talking about, okay, listen, I know it's very hard for some MAGA supporters like yourself because you're not very bright, but that's okay. I'll explain it to you. We were talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the files and the fact that Donald Trump it's a distraction for him to talk about other things because he doesn't want to talk about the Epstein
Jimmy
files.
Kimmel made a joke about it.
Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about the Epstein files last night. The reason why I brought up Kash Patel, and you're clearly not smart enough to understand this, I'm not surprised, is because he was asked if he told Pam Bondi that Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, which clearly he did, and he refused to answer the question. That is actually the opposite of whataboutism.
Whataboutism. Nope. You always want consistent.
No, let me explain to you, Johnny. Whataboutism is something that's not relevant or connected to the conversation. So when we confront MAGAs and they go, well, what about Hunter Biden's laptop? That's whataboutism.
Let's do whataboutism. You ready for this, Leonard?
Okay.
Let's do whataboutism. What is your education, sir? Whataboutism.
What about Hunter Biden?
What does that matter?
Tell me. What is your education? Yeah, exactly. This is whataboutism. I agree with you. Tell my listening audience of 200,000 plus how smart you are. What is your education, you dope? Tell me how smart you are.
You don't get 200,000 people. There's no way.
Okay. Would you like to make a wager? Would you like to make a wager on that? Because I could send you one screenshot on one social media platform where I do. You're not very bright, sir. Why don't you just repeat after me? I'm a MAGA buffoon. I'm stupid. Repeat after me. I'm a dummy and I voted for Donald Trump.
Against your own policy.
I'm sorry, what? What did you say?
You just don't like being called out on your own consistent
But you're wrong. We don't mind getting called out, but you're completely wrong.
Hold on. Let's hear him out. Let me hear you out on this. Let me hear you. Okay, let's explain to me why I'm wrong when Jimmy Kimmel talks about the Epstein files and he makes a joke about the Epstein files, and then I start discussing Kash Patel talking about the Epstein files. Explain to me how that's whataboutism. Help me understand, sir.
You're just assuming that he was told to Pam Bondi, and
okay, so that's a different argument. All right, so hold on, sir. Hold on, Johnny go. Hold on a second, okay? You said it was whataboutism, and now you're moving your little goalpost, and now you're saying I'm assuming something.
No.
Okay, no, that's what you're doing. So now I'm going to ask you a question. Hey, now I'm going to ask you a question. Give me one logical reason why Kash Patel wouldn't answer that question if Donald Trump wasn't in the Epstein files. Go.
That's not my job.
It's not your job because you're an idiot. That's why you're an idiot.
Okay, but it's an assumption, Johnny. Listen, it's an assumption based on fact. And here's the facts. In March of this year, 1,000 FBI agents. Who's the director of FBI? Kash Patel.
Yeah.
1,000 agents were pulled to go comb through 100,000, and this is in the news, this is reporting, 100,000 pages and expunge Donald Trump's name from the documents.
Leonard,
so the assumption is based in fact. It's an empirical study.
You're trying to speak logic.
It's not subjective at all.
You're trying to speak logic to a guy who's got a 20 IQ. Hey, dumbass, what do you do for work? Whataboutism, Mr. Whataboutism. What do you do for work?
Don't call me dumbass.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dumbass. What do you do for work?
No, hey.
Respectfully, what do you do for work? Tell us, what do you do for work? What do you do?
I'm in IT.
Yeah, IT for what? Unemployed IT? What the hell do you do for a living? Who hires you? What company has hired you? Would hire a lame brain moron like you?
I work remotely. I can work for lots of companies.
Yeah, you could.
Oh.
You could, couldn't you?
I do.
I bet you could be the
I
president.
do.
So he's
I,
a stay-at-home dad.
I bet you could be the president of the United
Are you a
States. too. I bet
stay-at-home
you-
dad?
I
Be
bet
honest.
you tell people that. Did he hang up the phone? You
See,
jackass.
but that's what they do. They call names, they curse, they get frustrated.
Well, I
and
call
when
names.
they can't,
I call names. Too.
I know, but you don't hang up.
No,
That's
they
the
hang up.
difference.
They hang up.
They get to the point where they just hang
Yeah.
up because they can't make their point.
Hey, sir, what do you do for a living? Well, I could do this, this, and this. You idiot.
I could work for multiple different radio stations.
Yeah, you crap
From
for
home.
brains. First, it went to whataboutism. Then it went to, well, why isn't Kash Patel? You know, you're assuming that he's in there. But no. You know what I'm assuming? I'm assuming that you're going to be late for your Klan rally tonight and your Confederate flag. And why don't you get a job, you unemployed fool?
If we were
you?
using whataboutism, let's talk about that. We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid to pivot.
Yeah.
But his points were not well taken.
No, they weren't.